Hello everyone, this is Shavanti. In this vlog, I'll be talking about banks and banking in India. So throughout this video, I'll be discussing about how the banks are classified based on their performance and establishment. So coming to the introduction, so as we all know, in India, everyone are familiar with banks and banking activities, whether it might be a student, a teacher, a professional singer, or any other person. So we can say that banks are the backbone to the Indian economy, as well as they act as a major financial source in the country. So, I can say that in the year 1770, the Bank of Hindustan was the first bank which was established in Calcutta. So currently, we have 12 nationalized banks in India. So let's talk about each nationalized bank in detail. So coming to the classification of banks. So basically, banks in India have two major functions. The first function would be accepting the deposits from the various entities, and the second is granting the loans to the people who are in need of money or who are in need of finance. So let's talk about the classification. So banks are classified into four categories or four different types. So first is commercial banks, small finance banks, payment banks, and corporate banks. So let's discuss about each bank in detail. Coming to the commercial banks, again, the commercial banks are divided into four categories: public banks, private banks, foreign banks, and regional banks. So, first is a public bank. So, we could say that a public bank is a bank in which the major stake have to be from the public, which is nothing but a government. So, it's a simple thing like a major investment, in the sense like above 51% of the investment have to be from the bank, from the government. So, currently we have 12 nationalized banks in India. So, I'll just give the names of each nationalized bank in India. So the first bank is Bank of India, Canara Bank, Central Bank of India, UCO Bank, Bank of Maharashtra, Punjab National Bank, Punjab Sid Bank, State Bank of India, India Overseas Bank, and Union Bank of India. So currently, the State Bank of India is the largest public sector bank. So which was established in the year 1806, which is currently India's largest bank. And we could say that all this banking transactions are governed and regulated by RBI. So let's move on to the private banks. So private banks are nothing but like it's just quite opposite to the public bank. We could say the major investment of the private banks have to be from the public sector. It might be any individual or in private industry who are really interested to invest in the bank, so they can just invest in the private banks. So currently we have so many private banks in India. So there are n number of banks like Axis Bank, Bandhan Bank, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, IDFC Bank. So there are so many banks in India which are currently operating as a private sector banks, and all these private sector banks are governed by the RBI. So coming to foreign banks are nothing but which have their headquarters in the foreign country, and their establishment and banking activities have to be performed in India. So basically, the foreign banks have to follow the rules and regulations of both of its home country as well as the place at which it is existing. So I would like to give some of the examples of foreign banks are like we do have this HSBC Bank, so which is like most popularized foreign bank in India, and there are also other foreign banks like IndusInd Bank of Korea, American Express Banking Corporation. So all these banks are like comes under foreign banks. Let's talk about regional rural banks. So RRBs are like basically those banks which provide financial assistance to the weaker sections of the society. So these banks came into existence with the main motive to provide financial service, financial assistance to those societies where people really need money to do some kind of businesses, or any kind of investment. Like it might, like let's take an example of the activities which are performed by these kind of banks. So they provide loans to the agricultural people, as well as the people who want to establish small scale industries and all. So basically these banks provide financial assistance to the weaker sections of small finance bank. So small finance bank are nothing but like they provide the assistance to the sections, to certain section of people where they are not getting assistance from the other section of the society or other section of other banks. So these small finance banks mainly concentrate on micro industries and small marginal farmers, and also the people who wanted to establish a small scale industries. So all these small finance banks provide assistance to the weaker sections of the society. So they are licensed under Section 22 of the Banking Regulation Act, and also they are governed by the provisions of the RBI Act and the FEMA. So here are some of the examples of small finance bank: Equitas Small Finance Bank Limited, Utkarsh Small Finance Limited, Fincare Small Finance Limited, and Ujjwal Small Finance Limited. So let's talk about payments bank. So basically these payment banks are conceptualized by the RBI, and they are allowed to accept a restricted deposit. So there is a minimum restrictions currently of rupees 1 lakh, which are minimum 1 lakh rupee from a person. Each person a bank can accept as a deposit. So apart from this granting loans and accepting deposits, they also provide other facilities like providing ATM cards and credit cards and like other digital modes of payment to the people. So coming to the next category, cooperative banks. So cooperative banks are registered under the Cooperative Societies Act 1912, and these banks are formed with the motive of no profit and no loss strategy. So again, these have been divided into urban cooperative banks and state cooperative banks. Urban cooperative banks are nothing but like these banks are established in urban and semi-urban areas in order to just serve the people like in the urban areas and providing the financial assistance to the urban society. So currently we could see a 79% of the urban cooperative banks are established in 5 particular states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. So these 5 states are the states in which the 79% of the urban cooperative banks were established. So these urban cooperative banks main motive is to provide financial assistance to the weaker section of the society, like marginal farmers or the people who want to establish like a small scale industry or a handloom industry. So basically these banks provide a financial assistance to these kind of people. State corporate banks, basically the state corporate banks acts as a custodian and corporate banking structure in the state. So basically these forms as a tie-up between the state banks as well as the urban banks. So they try to provide the assistance to people like who are really in need of finance. So that's all. Thank you.